What if the world's most famous inventor was laughed at over 5,000 times? For 15 years, James Dyson's idea was rejected by everyone: investors, manufacturers, even his friends. He was broke, humiliated, and ready to quit. Yet that same idea, a bagless vacuum cleaner, would later build a $10 billion empire and redefine how we think about innovation. This is Dyson's Revenge, the story of how one man turned 5,126 failures into one of the world's most iconic tech brands. James Dyson was born in rural England in 1947. He wasn't a genius prodigy or a child inventor. He was just curious. A quiet boy who liked taking things apart, toys, radios, anything that broke. But behind that curiosity was a kind of stubbornness that would one day define him. At the Royal College of Art in London, Dyson studied design, not engineering. Yet he was obsessed with how things worked. He once said, "Design is not just about how it looks. It's how it works." His first big idea wasn't about vacuums at all. It was a wheelbarrow, but with a ball instead of a wheel. He called it the ball barrow. It rolled over mud and uneven ground better than any wheelbarrow before it. It was simple, clever, and brilliant, until it was stolen. Dyson's partners took the idea and pushed him out of the company. He made nothing. It was his first invention and his first betrayal. But that failure planted a seed. If they could take his invention, he would build something so revolutionary that no one could copy it. Fast forward a few years. Dyson's house vacuum kept losing suction. Every time he cleaned the house, it clogged. He'd replace the bag, and it worked for a while, then clogged again. It wasn't broken. It was just how vacuums were designed. Most people would have cursed and moved on. Dyson couldn't. He saw it as a problem to solve. One day, while visiting a local sawmill, he noticed something strange. The air inside the mill was clean, no dust in the air, even though sawdust was flying everywhere. The reason? A cyclone system that spun air so fast that particles separated out naturally. That moment sparked an idea. What if I used the same principle to separate dust from air inside a vacuum cleaner? It sounded ridiculous, but for Dyson, ridiculousness was the starting point. He built his first prototype in 1979. It didn't work, so he built another, then another. Soon, his backyard shed became a jungle of vacuum parts, plastic tubes, and metal cones. Each prototype taught him something: how to increase airflow, how to reduce static, how to balance weight. He built 1,000 versions, then 2,000, then 3,000. Every time it failed, people told him to stop. "It's been years, James." Let it go, but he couldn't. He was obsessed. One prototype overheated and melted its motor. Another shattered when he tested the suction pressure too high. Sometimes the dust would blast out the wrong end, coating the room in fine powder. Each disaster was a small humiliation and a lesson. Dyson started keeping a logbook, noting airflow ratios, filter shapes, and pressure results by hand. It was less an invention journal and more a diary of determination. At night, Deirdre would find him asleep in the workshop covered in dust, still holding a screwdriver. Their savings were gone, but his conviction was not. "If I could just make it work once," he told her, "it would all make sense." By the time he reached prototype 5,126, he was nearly bankrupt. His friends thought he was delusional. His wife, Deirdre, supported the family by teaching art to keep them afloat. He later said, "I just kept going because every failure taught me something." It wasn't 5,126 failures. It was 5,126 steps toward success. For most people, failure breaks you. For Dyson, it built him. After 15 years of trial and error, Dyson finally did it. His new vacuum, the Dual Cyclone, didn't need a bag, didn't lose suction, and worked better than anything on the market. He proudly approached the big vacuum companies, Hoover, Electrolux, Philips, offering to license his design. Every single one said no. Not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well. Their profits came from selling replacement bags, a vacuum that didn't need one. That would destroy their business model. Dyson was crushed. The world didn't just reject his invention, it rejected his logic. But then he realized something. If no one will make it for me, I'll make it myself. That decision changed everything. In 1993, Dyson launched Dyson Revenge with his first commercial product, the G-Force vacuum. Ironically, his first success came not from Britain, but Japan, a country that respected futuristic design. The G-Force sold for around $2,000, an absurd price at the time. Yet Japanese consumers loved it. It won the International Design Fair Prize, giving Dyson the funds and credibility to bring it back home. When he finally launched in the UK, he knew he had to make a statement. His slogan, "Say goodbye to the bag." It was bold, it was direct, and it worked. Dyson himself would later describe the launch day as surreal. In a small London department store, he set up a live demo, running his vacuum next to the biggest brands in the world. Shoppers stopped, skeptical at first, then watched in disbelief as Dyson's machine sucked up dust the others left behind. Some even applauded. By the end of the week, the display models were gone, sold to the very customers who once said, "I'll believe it when I see it." Word spread fast. Media outlets picked up the story of the eccentric engineer who refused to give up, and suddenly, the bagless vacuum wasn't just a product, it was a statement. Within 2 years, Dyson's bright yellow machines became the best-selling vacuums in Britain. Hoover, the same company that rejected him, lost a third of its market share. For Dyson, that was poetic justice, a quiet, calculated revenge built not on anger, but on excellence. Success didn't make him comfortable. It made him restless. He turned his small design company into a research powerhouse, reinvesting profits into new projects. His goal wasn't to build a brand around vacuums, it was to build a brand around invention itself. Next came the air-blade hand dryer, then the bladeless fan, then cordless vacuums, then the supersonic hair dryer that turned heads in the beauty industry. Each product followed the same philosophy: start with a problem no one else cares about, and solve it in a way no one expects. Inside Dyson's company, there's a mantra: embrace failure. Engineers are encouraged to prototype fast, break things, and learn. Their labs look more like experimental playgrounds than corporate offices, walls covered in sketches, shelves stacked with odd-looking devices, and teams arguing passionately over airflow patterns. One story tells of the bladeless fan's creation. Dyson's engineers spent months trying to reduce noise levels from the airflow tunnel. The solution came when one young designer tested the prototype in a quiet room and noticed a low humming tone. They adjusted the curvature of the frame by just a few millimeters, and the sound disappeared. Dyson called it music made of air. Later, the supersonic hairdryer took over 4 years and 600 prototypes to perfect. Dyson personally tested airflow on wigs and measured temperature dozens of times a second to protect hair from heat damage. The result wasn't just a beauty tool, it was a piece of precision engineering disguised as elegance. Dyson even founded the Dyson Institute of Engineering and Technology, a university where students learn by inventing real products while getting paid to study. The company now invests over $1 billion a year into research. To Dyson, innovation isn't a department, it's the heartbeat of everything. He once said, "Failure is the beginning of invention. You start when things go wrong." And that mindset, born in a backyard shed, became the culture of a billion-dollar empire. But genius always has a cost. As Dyson's empire grew, critics began to question his choices. He moved manufacturing overseas to cut costs, a painful blow to his image as a British icon. Some accused him of turning household tools into overpriced luxury gadgets. Even inside the company, his perfectionism was legendary. Employees described the workplace as both inspiring and exhausting. Dyson's drive for perfection didn't just build products, it built pressure. Still, behind every criticism lies the same truth. Dyson never compromised. Every product had to feel revolutionary, or it didn't exist. He once fired an entire design team after they suggested copying a competitor's feature. He simply said, "We're not here to follow. We're here to rethink." And that's what separates obsession from vision, and engineers from artists. Today, James Dyson is Britain's richest inventor, knighted for his contributions to design and technology. His company operates in more than 80 countries and continues to reinvent the most ordinary things we touch every day. But Dyson's real legacy isn't the vacuum or the hairdryer or the fan. It's the idea that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. The boy who once built a wheelbarrow no one believed in ended up building an empire that proved belief itself is an act of engineering. He wasn't just cleaning floors, he was cleaning away the dust of old ideas. And maybe that's the lesson of Dyson's Revenge. After 5,126 failures, James Dyson didn't just build a vacuum, he built proof that persistence can turn rejection into revolution.